Hi, this is Richard, back in the woods again for today's Wisdom from the Woods. And today I want to talk about the topic of thoughts and whose thoughts are they? The main reason that most people suffer is not because they have anxious thoughts, self-doubt thoughts, lonely thoughts, or whatever. Is the fact that they're identified with these thoughts. So they believe that the thoughts are who they are. And it's obvious that if you believe the mind is you, and the mind is agitated, restless, anxious, logically, you would see the solution is to fix the mind or change the mind. And I tried doing this for years, and I'm sure you'll probably agree with me that progress is pretty slow, to say the least. And the pivotal moment, I believe certainly in my journey, and I think in most people's journey, is when we begin to see that the thoughts may not be all that we are. If you want to try and fix the mind, that's a massive undertaking. But if you want to change your relationship with the mind, that's something that's really doable, and it doesn't take very long at all. And the key is to see that thoughts are objects in your awareness. For example, I can see the tree, and therefore I can't be the tree. I'm aware of the river, and therefore I can't be the river. There's the river and there's the one who's aware of the river. And exactly the same thing applies to the mind, to our thoughts. I can report on what thoughts are there in my mind in this moment, and therefore I can't be the thoughts. And the reason we suffer, there's one teacher I really liked the expression he used. He said, you suffer because you're open for business. And what does he mean by this? He means that, when these thoughts come along, these self-arising thoughts, you're open for business. You're open for engaging with them. So you indulge in them, you chew on them, you marinate in them, you spend your whole day thinking about them. And it can be massively liberating to see that we don't have to do that. You can choose instead to focus on the river, focus on the trees. You're not pushing the thoughts away, but you're aware that following them, indulging in them, getting caught up in them is a choice. It's not mandatory. And seeing this can be very liberating. If you have anxious thoughts, for example, being open for business might look like resisting them, fighting them, judging them, thinking there's something wrong, thinking that you're a bad person, whatever. And, another choice in that moment would be to bring your awareness to your breath, for example, or to the trees, or to the river, and to recognize that you don't have to follow them. You don't have to get caught up in them. The thoughts are not who you are. They're like passing clouds in the sky. The awareness that you are is constant. You know, sometimes I like to use the analogy of the screen and the movie. You know, when the movie's playing, you don't see the screen because all your attention is on the drama going on in the movie. But if the movie stops, then you become aware of the screen. The screen is constant. You know, different types of movie can play on the screen. You can get comedy, dramas, nightmares quite often. And through habit, all of our attention is focused on the flickering images that constitute the movie. And we lose sight of the screen. And this is the spiritual practice, is to recognize ourselves as the screen. You know, the screen which remains untouched. It doesn't matter what kind of movie's playing on it. And to recognize that you're not the thoughts. You know, anything, another way you can look at it logically is that anything that has a beginning and an end, anything that comes and goes can't be who you are. You know, who you are must be constant. And, you know, my practice as I walk through the woods is to consciously just keep my awareness here in the moment. I'm aware of thoughts popping up, of course, and that's absolutely fine. But I'm also aware that whether I choose to follow them or not is my choice. You know, I can also put my attention on this field of awareness in which thoughts arise. So that's my message for today. And isn't it gorgeous, the woods? Why would I want to follow thoughts when I could keep my attention here in this beautiful moment? See you soon. Bye.